Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It is Friday, my favorite day, right? I love going live on Fridays. So I hope everyone is ready to chat today. Today, we're going to chat about the headlines in the news about the interest rates, right? We need to talk about these interest rates, don't we? Okay. I don't know if you're paying attention or not. Sometimes I don't pay attention because I don't want to hear it anymore, right? I have stopped watching the news for about 6 to 8 months now. I don't watch the news anymore. So that helps with my attitude a lot. If you don't focus on the negative, then the negative just kind of bounces off you and goes someplace else. All right. I promise you, don't focus on the negative. We're going to focus on the positive, and I'm going to continue my message that I have been preaching for the last 2 years or more, right? Uh, you need to get yourself in a position where you can weather the storm, where your business can weather the storm. And it can only do that if you've got multiple streams of income. I promise you. I mean, if you are sitting there still depending on working with buyers, and you haven't shifted your business model to focusing on listing yet, then you're going to really struggle coming forward because I already see it happening. I already see it happening in the market, and you do too, don't you? The more and more and more this economy drags down, the more and more psychologically the consumer is getting beat up. Okay. The consumer is definitely getting psychologically beat up. And I think that's, really something that nobody takes into consideration when they are polishing their crystal balls. Okay. Those of us who have been through this a couple of times, not just the Great Recession, but a couple of times in my career, have I experienced economies tanking, right? Let me tell you what, after 9/11, we tanked. And that's pretty much where we are right now in terms of interest rates. You know, I'll share some the article with you here in just a minute, but raise your hand and give me a hell yeah if you were in the business when 9/11 occurred, because let me tell you what, that is a jolt to your system, isn't it? That was definitely uh, a shock, right? It was something that you couldn't foresee. It was something that you couldn't control, but yet, bam, there it was in your face. Kind of like a pandemic, right? Just bam, right there in your face, and here we go again. So, after you experience a few of these, you begin to understand that your business needs to have multiple streams of income if you're going to weather the storms. Okay. So that's why I advocate for boutique brokerages in order for them to hunker down, be cost effective, and weather the storm. They absolutely need to have multiple streams of income, preferably property management, like I always talk about. If you're a larger, I'm not even larger, right? I'm going to talk about a small boutique brokerage. A boutique brokerage is 5 members and under, and then a small brokerage is about 25 members, agents and under. So a small brokerage, right? If they can, they've got, in order for them to survive, they've got to find some listing inventory that is not going to be dependent on their agent's production. Okay, so that's where you may want to level up at that point and seek some REO listings and get into that niche, something that's going to feed you. Another thing that's going to feed you is probate. Probate always feeds you. So you should always have your foot in the door with probate, divorce. You know what I'm saying? Those are stressors in a person's life that may or may not require them to sell that real estate asset. So those are the things you want to start focusing on. You have got to start to doing something different in your business. I really want everyone to start thinking about doing something different in 2023. Okay. I have certainly done something different in my business in 2022, right? Because I have been preaching for 2 years to do something different since March of 2020, right? You know what I'm saying? I know that you have to pivot your businesses moving forward. And that is what I am passionate about, helping agents putting together a stake in the ground marketing system for their business that allows them to expose their businesses on a larger scale, right? Because if you don't put more eyes on your business moving forward, you're not going to have the numbers. You're not going to have the numbers that it takes, to really produce some business moving forward when the market is stressed. Okay. I want to share screen here in just a minute, and I'm going to tootle around an article that I, was reading this morning that is kind of inspired, this morning's conversation. And I put a comment in there in the group, and it was great to see some agents voicing their opinions. I love to hear different opinions from all across the country. Let me just get that comment up here on this other screen for me real quick here. Okay. Rosanna Sampson, okay, had, some very strong feelings. So thank you for that, because I love it, right? But here's the article in the Florida Realtor magazine, or, the email newsletter that came out. So this is from the Florida Realtors. And of course, that's the headline, the 7% mark, and, it's not really anything to be scared of. Psychologically, the consumer is going to grow into it because it's going to be here for a while. Okay. Right now, the consumer is in sticker shock, right? And, I have, for anyone that has lived in an economy where interest rates were 8, 9, 10, 12 and a half, 18%, if you go back all the way into the 80s, you understand that you have seen these interest rates go up and down, right? And it's human nature for the consumer to go through, a sticker shock period. But like everything, right? I'm telling you, this is going to take years to resolve. We don't turn an economy around on a dime. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So, these interest rates are going to be here for a while. Okay. And eventually the consumer is going to grow into it, understand it, and then they'll come back into the market. That's where it's going to be. They're going to have to just learn to make more money, unfortunately, and this is, Florida voted our minimum wage up to 15%. Presently, it's still only at $15 an hour. And presently it's only at 10. So, these are things that the consumer is still growing into. The wages have to come up, and they will. Okay. Wages will come up, and then eventually they're going to have to spur the economy again, and interest rates will come back down. Okay. I mean, that's how they do that. Although it's been down for 20 years now, 20 years. So you've got a whole generation of people who have never seen interest rates like this before. Okay. So you've got to understand where their psychology is. And in order to weather this storm, you've got to grow into it as well. Okay. I'm just gonna put this little comment up here because this is, it's topping at 7% in 2 decades, like I said, and, they intend to bring it up even higher. So, That's it. I suspect it's going to be at 10% by next year. Okay, in mid next year, this time next year, it was at 3% this time last year. It's not unreasonable to think that it's going to be at 10% by next summer. Okay, and then so when that happens, that's when the layoffs are going to happen. That's when prices are going to have pressure coming down. Okay. Here's another interesting comment that I picked out of that article there. The Fed is expected to raise its benchmark another 3/4 of a point when it meets just next week. Okay. Despite the rate increases, inflation has hardly budged the 40-year highs above 8%. Okay. So you got to read between the lines in a lot of these articles, don't you? All right. Let me know what your thoughts are. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments what you're thinking. I want to get this. Let me pull this up here. This is a conversation that we started in the group. Okay. Let me share screen real quick here. Okay. I want you to seriously think about doing something different with your business. Now here we go. I love this comment here. Inflation is caused by international and intentional attack on our domestic energy production, coupled with insane government spending. And we know that definitely there's insane government spending, and the energy, and of course the Ukraine situation. So I want to know what your thoughts are on that. Jump on this comment in here in the group, right? It's connected with the headlines today, and add your comments into this group, into this post for me, please. Okay. I really want to hear everyone's opinion on that. Okay. All right. So there we have it. I mean, there we have it. It really is just staring us in the face. Please don't be in denial. Please don't think that our government is going to wave a magic wand and this is all going to be better instantly, because it is not. Okay. It's just not. So I really want you to be prepared for 2023. And if you haven't thought about changes that you need to make for your business, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to chat with you. We can do a video chat and just kind of unpack what your thoughts are about 2023 and where you would like to take your business. And if you've been hanging around with me for a little while, and it's been something that you've had every intention of exploring and jumping into and making changes for your business, don't delay this anymore. If you had, in this past January, if you said you were going to make changes this year and you haven't made them yet, well, let me tell you what, it's November. You haven't made those changes yet. Okay. Don't be sitting here come this January again, telling yourself, maybe I should sign up for my broker license test. Don't put that off. Give yourself a promotion. Give yourself the freedom to make your own decisions, to navigate your own future. Okay. Because I don't care if you are an agent with a franchise brokerage, there's still one broker at the head of that office, isn't there? Right? And it's their business. If they want to change their franchise brand, like Brigitte just had happen to her, people are going to make decisions for you unless you are in control of your business with your brokerage license. People are going to make decisions for you. So what if your broker wants to change franchises? There goes your entire brand. There goes all of your efforts. There goes everything you've built, because now you've got to change everything. Okay, you don't want to be doing that next year. Trust me, unless you're going to be doing it for yourself. Okay, these are things that can happen. Your broker can pass away. Accidents happen. Anytime your license and your brokerage and your business is tied to someone else or something else, then you're always going to have some kind of limitations. You're always going to have their rules, you know what I'm saying? Their model, their structure, their forms, their guidelines, their compliance. You're under their thumb, always. And trust me, when you're independent, you get to make those calls. And it's very easy. It's very easy. Okay? Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of this. Get your broker license. Sign up for your broker class today, tomorrow, next week, but do it. Okay? Do it. Get through it. It might be the hardest thing you have done in years, but you have got to get yourself through that and get that leveled up license. Okay? Because things are going to change. They're going to change in the next 2 years. Okay, we've got a lot of changing to undergo. Now, I think I posted in this group last week the foreclosure timelines in a lot of these states. Okay, did you take a look at that? Right? Some are 900 days and more. All right, so if the foreclosure process itself takes 2 or 3 years to complete in your state, how long do you think it's going to take to change this course of action, right, in your state that's happening? Some states don't get affected by it at all. Midwest states, they hardly see large foreclosure rates increase, unlike areas like Florida, California, populous areas, right? Populous areas. Florida always swings in the housing market. It always swings, both directions, it inflates and then it comes back down. So, and we have a lot of foreclosures. We always have a lot of foreclosures. Okay. So your market may or may not ever experience a large influx of foreclosures. Okay. You've got to know the rhythm of your market. You've got to watch that default rate, right? If you can, with your clerk's website. Okay. Those are some things we're going to explore, how to mine that data, that foreclosure data in your county, in your state. Okay. Because you're going to watch it. You're going to need to watch that so that you're not sitting here thinking that nothing is happening. Okay. You can't be sitting here thinking that nothing is happening, because it's happening. Okay. So I want everyone to be prepared. So, let me see what I can do to help you and brainstorm some ideas. You know what I'm saying? But a couple of things I want you to be key on. I don't want your brokerage to be 100% dependent upon agent production. Okay? That is a number one thing that you have to focus on, is that you, as a boutique brokerage, has your own stream of income that can keep the 4 walls up. That's how you survive. You can't depend on your agent's production, or, you know what I'm saying? That's not going to be something that is going to hold up the 4 walls. I don't care how hard you try to build them up, right? And you can have a handful of rock stars. It's not going to be their fault. It's going to be the economy, right? And unless you are able to guide them in a different direction, they're going to go right down a black hole with you, So as a collaborative, as a boutique brokerage, you need to all be collaborating and thinking about what other directions you can take. What other directions can you take? I show agents in here. I interview agents in here that do phenomenal things that should give you some awesome ideas. Amber Boyd does leasing, right? That girl's on fire with her business. She does not depend on buyers or sellers. Okay. I have interviewed two girls in Tennessee that focus on probate. Those girls are on fire. They do, in addition to the listing and the selling of the real estate, they have the liquidation company in place as well. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? They've got it going on. I have shown you students that I have worked with that have built property management businesses close to 100 doors. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He isn't dependent upon buying or selling or working with a buyer or seller. These are some things you have to think outside the box and do for your business moving forward. Okay. And if you need some help with that, reach out to me. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. Okay. Our next Get It Done workshop, as a matter of fact, is going to be on, distressed properties. Okay. This is an opportunity for everyone to capitalize on. Do not sit here and wait another 2 years before you figure out how to market and capture short sale listings. Okay. Don't, because you will be behind the curveball. I promise you. You need to be in the mix now, getting your learning curve over with, figuring out your systems, what you need to do to capture the correct data, how you need to solicit that data, and how to deal with that data, how to deal with that consumer, because dealing with a short sale is it's completely different than any other transaction you've probably ever encountered, especially if you haven't experienced, the last Great Recession. Okay. I hate to say it, but that's what it boils down to in our lifetime. That's when, unless you were in the business in the 90s, because the 90s, absolutely, there were short sales happening in the 90s. That's where I learned, that's the program I took. This is the program I took in the 90s, short sales in the 1990s. Right. And in 2008, whenever I needed it, I pulled out my library, dusted it off, figured it out. Nothing changed. Staying process. Today, it's a little bit different because after the last, time that occurred, let's say, they figured it out. They've got more technology today. So today, short sales are done much differently than they were even 10, 12, 15 years ago, whenever it was, All right. But we're going to dive deep into that. You got to know how to deal with those transactions specifically and how to market them, because that's a different animal, how to market short sales and distressed properties. Okay. Because it's different. People, they're psychologically in a different place. Okay. And let me tell you what, when I did short sales, because we really did dominate in our market when the market crashed the last time. Like I said, I was prepared. I pulled the course out. Nobody in my county knew what a short sale was. When I started marketing short sales, I had other brokers. I had a RE/MAX broker call me. What are you doing? How you do this? I had a lot of input into our local MLS on how to, I helped them implement or suggested and created the it's active short sale, but taking backups. People try to work the short sale transaction like it was any other transaction, and you just can't, because if you work one offer at a time on a short sale, you'll be chasing your tail. Okay. You have to work multiple offers and keep multiple offers on the table, keep that property active, keep collecting offers. Okay. And as long as it takes until you get an offer accepted, and then you've got some acceptable terms to work with. All right. Because buyers don't stay on the table. They just don't stay on the table long enough. So sometimes on a short sale, it's the last man standing that buys it, you know? And these are some things you have to learn to navigate. It's not like any other transaction. If you've never experienced a short sale market before, a heavy short sale market, I mean, literally 70% of our inventory was short sales at one point. And I am not exaggerating. Okay. So I just want everyone prepared. Okay. And that's my motto. Be prepared so you're not standing with your pants down when this hits the fan. Okay? You never really know when it hits the fan until it's hitting the fan, because right now we're just close to the fan. We haven't hit the fan yet. We're just breezing right in front of it, but we haven't hit it yet. Okay? Brace for impact. That's my motto. All right? I'm going to let you go. Let me know if you have any comments to share. I'd appreciate them. I love everyone's opinion. Okay? Let me know in the comments what you think. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.